Hey guys, coming in at just 2.64% of the characters in Lost Ark Korea above 1600 item level, we have the next entry into this video series, the Summoner. As pointed out in one of my previous videos, Summoner was the big daddy of Lost Ark at the beginning of 2023, touted as one of the queens of burst, and no other classes really being even able to come close to touching them in terms of DPS. Why is this class that was so strong at one point of time one of the least played classes in Lost Ark? Well, let's find out first by diving into the class itself. Summoner is one of the two DPS mages in Lost Ark. What sets it apart from the other mage class, the Sorceress, is its ability to use its wide array of summons, from being able to bring out the powers of the lightning god Akir to do some big burst, to be able to command the ancient elemental Osh to stomp on her foes to do some massive weak point damage. In many ways, these summons allow the summoner to be a bit of a Swiss Army knife of sorts, to be able to tackle any type of content that the raid throws at her. How the summoner is able to bring out these summons is simple. The summoner has 5 unique summons that she calls upon, each having a different cost, the ancient elemental Osh being the cheapest and the lightning god Akir being the most expensive. What is the cost, you might ask? Well, her identity gives her these orbs that appear at the bottom of your screen. As you attack with your normal skills, these orbs fill up to a maximum of 7 orbs in turn, giving her the ability to rain down destruction upon her enemies. And now, on top of these summons that she can bring out for a burst of utility and damage, the summoner also has control over a multitude of pets, some of which have skills of their own that you can activate in order to increase your damage. Summoner offers a unique playstyle like no other in Lost Ark. So why does she see almost no play at the very high levels of the game? Well, let's start by diving into the engravings to start unpacking these problems. Master Summoner is the first of the 2 engravings. It's a specialization-oriented engraving that offers the larger burst potential out of the 2 Summoner engravings. While there are a multitude of aspects that go into this class, at the end of the day, it all boils down to one goal. Throw out as many Akirs as possible, as that's where the majority of the damage of this class comes from. Using the data from Lost Ark Nexus, we can see that a whopping total of 64.5% of the damage that this class does comes from Akir. So it's no wonder why the main goal of this class engraving is to throw out as many Akirs as possible. So this is where the problem begins for this engraving. While Akir is extremely strong, the damage that the God of Lightning brings comes in the form of a multi-hit skill, with the last skill being the strongest of the multi-hits. This wouldn't be much of a problem, but much like Sorceress's Doomsday, Akir has quite a bit of wind-up before it unleashes its extremely powerful back-loaded burst of damage. And as we've discussed before, Lost Ark is a very fast-moving game, and many moves that have significant wind-up time are extremely susceptible to missing due to a boss's tendency to move quickly around your screen. This isn't the end of the problems, though. The second highest damaging move in the Summoner's kit, Ancient Spear, is also like Akir in many ways, because it is another multi-hitting move with an extremely long windup. On top of that, the spears that come raining down from the sky fly down in a straight line forward, meaning that unless your aim is immaculate or you get extremely lucky, there's a high likelihood that at least one of your spears misses the boss, resulting in a loss of damage. Now, moving on to Communication Overflow. This engraving is actually the swiftness spec for Summoner that revolves around the usage of your pets, Marurine and Pauru. When summoned, Marurine and Pauru will automatically attack the enemy, and this is really what gave CO Summoner its reputation for having a very high damage floor in the past. So, wait, isn't that a good thing? Well, as I alluded to at the beginning of this video, each of these pets have their own abilities that need to be activated constantly throughout the fight, which means that you always need to be keeping an eye on your cooldowns because you'll be activating these skills every few seconds. This is what makes CO Summoner an extremely high APM class. On top of these pets, the CO Summoner is also able to bring out Kelsion, its Awakening, which is, you guessed it, another pet that has its own ability that you need to activate every few seconds. So rather than the advertised chill playstyle that everyone thought CO Summoner was, this class is actually an extremely high APM class that requires you to have the hands of a god to not just do complete Z DPS. Oh yeah, did I also mention that this build also runs one level in Master Summoner? So on top of controlling your pets, you also have to deal with the same issues that Master Summoner has to deal with when it comes to Akir and Ancient Spear. And I wish that the problems ended there. While this may just be a personal thing, I think that the biggest problem with CO Summoner is not the high APM playstyle or the problems with Akir and Ancient Spear, but it is, excuse my language, just that it feels like complete shit to play. You see, I mentioned that this class requires you to constantly spam your pet skills every couple of seconds. The main issue is that those skills that the pets throw out have the smallest animations. You see, Lost Ark is known for its flashy skills and gameplay, where you're pretty much required to turn off the animations of your teammates, because if you don't, the game looks like the night sky on New Year's Eve. Now, take a look at these animations. Does this really look like New Year's Eve to you? No, you can barely see the skills come out. And now look at this. I'm going to throw down an Akir and hit the skills of my pets. Alright, when did I hit the skills of my pets? You probably couldn't tell, right? So, on top of the problems of CO Summoner, the class just feels like a wet fart to play whenever you want to press your buttons. So, you can start to see why nobody plays this class, right? This is where I would normally wrap up the video and give you a quick summary of the two builds, but unfortunately, the problems for this class actually don't end there. On top of the issues with the engravings, the class itself has two major problems shared across both builds. The first has to do with its mobility. While the CO Summoner has to deal with this a bit less being a swiftness class, both builds share the common problem of not having a single mobility spell in its arsenal, making it extremely hard to position yourself during fights. The Sorceress has Blink, and while an Ignited Sorc doesn't really want to use it, it does have the option to spend its meter to use that skill. The Summoner just simply doesn't. The second problem is that the class is a ready attack class, and if you didn't know what ready attack is, it's a tripod that quite a few classes share actually, including another extremely difficult to play class, the Soulfist. And what ready attack gives you is a massive DPS buff for a few seconds after you press the skill, meaning that after you use your ready attack, you need to be ready to unleash all of your hardest hitting skills in a short period of time during the buff window, or else you're pretty much doing Z DPS. Sounds a little bit like Red Dust, right, for all you Berserker players? Well, what if I told you that you have to do this song and dance twice in every one of your rotations? Yep, Summoner has two ready attack skills, which makes this class quite frustrating to play at times. So, yeah, that was a bit of a long one, but that wraps up this video. Hopefully you can see why Summoner can be a bit frustrating to play and why so many people have chosen to drop this class from their roster. But if you're willing to put up with some of these frustrations, Summoner is quite a fun class to play because it really is like a Swiss Army knife, and with all of its summons, it can really bring quite a bit of utility when it comes to mechanics. So there you have it. Let me know down in the comment section below whether you're still playing Summoner or it's a class that you ended up dropping because of all of these flaws. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and also I stream on twitch.tv/misoxshiru every single night starting at 10 p.m. PST. So hopefully I see you guys on my stream, but if not, hopefully I'll see you all on the next video. All right, guys, peace out.